So I'm going to be cross-examining Moriah and asking her a few questions about her negative resolution on the U.S. should develop the moon in the area of water. Okay, so my first question is, you mentioned that there's little to no water found on the moon. According to Space.com article, quote unquote, it's official water found on the moon. It mentions that over 100 million years ago, there was an ocean which covered the entire moon, and its excessive historic water deposits and minerals are embedded in its rocks. After this discovery, how can you say, quote, there's very little water on the moon?
Well, when I mentioned there's little to no water found on the moon, I was not referencing the moon's ancient water sources, such as the ocean that might have been on the moon if there had been any. The lack of water found on the moon that I was referring to had to do with the lack of water found within the lunar surface and the lunar mineral deposits. So what you do is you break apart the minerals and from that extract hydrogen and oxygen to get the water. So I wasn't talking about no water found on the moon ever. I'm just talking about the moon's current circumstances, how there's little water found on the moon now.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My second question and concern is, in your second argument, you stated that financial aspects don't make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
How is this statement relevant to water mining and extraction on the moon? If you could please elaborate on that.
Yeah, well, that was my second point. And by saying that the financial aspects didn't make sense, I'm saying that it would cost too much to go to the moon given the fact that it's a $250 million expedition. If it would cost this much to extract water from the lunar surface, then mining water off the moon might be worth it. So that's kind of my point and where I was going with that.
Okay, well, thank you. And my last question is, how can mining water from the moon lead to potential water wars when getting more water from the moon will increase the amount of water available to all living factors and individuals on Earth?
Mm-hmm. Well, just because we receive more water from the moon does not mean that there is not a possibility for wars to break out over it. With this newfound lunar water, nations could potentially begin to experience political tensions with one another by fighting over the water rights.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.